What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Broodwar ladder cast. We've got Flash in the bottom right hand corner. No, I'm a simple man. I see a Flash replay. I immediately have to cast it. It is what it is. I was raised on these games of Flash, you know, dominating 2007, 2008, 2009 in his heyday. This guy was the absolute GOAT and may still be that way. We haven't seen him in tournament yet. And guys, I don't want you to fully judge Flash based on these ladder series. I feel like there's not really a good way to fully judge his character and his ability until we actually see him in tournament. Because if you want to try something new, if you want to try and discover something, you need to be able to look stupid. You need to be ready to look stupid. And so Flash, you know, trying out different strategies, he might look a little bit bad, he might look a little bit dumb, but it's all part of the learning process. He's fallen back into the Broodwar scene at a interesting time when there's been so much development, when things are accelerating more than ever before, and players have just reached a new pinnacle of their play. So the old strategies, they just don't quite work anymore. The ones that, you know, made him famous and he was still using right up until he went to the military, they are just not viable. And so he needs to find new ways of playing, and you know that he's not just going to copy what everybody else is doing and just try to, you know, get wins that way. He is going to find his own path, and that might take some time. We'll see what kind of play he brings out against Rich today. He's on cross map, Fighting Spirit. This is a very old map, so one that both players are incredibly familiar with. Nice block here on the ramp to start things out. Not allowing that SCV to scout the main is pretty nice, but there's not too much going on in here aside from the fact that there's no range coming. Nexus before range. Will he go for Robo before range as well? That is a possibility. SCV just going to make a run for it. He's actually going to go down here and scout bottom left. Maybe he thought that that was the scouting probe. And I mean, he's going to get up here and see nothing, so he will know for a fact. Kind of funny that SCV getting trapped there. He'll know for a fact now that there's definitely a Protoss player in the top left, but look at this. Rich has found the SCV, and he's going to be able to deny the scout most likely. All right, he will pull back. I think he's going to loop around. No, he's going to send the second Dragoon to go clean this up. First Dragoon's going to head over towards the natural. A command center on high ground. An interesting choice. This is a full wall. You can't actually slip through here with anything. As wide as that gap looks, it's completely walled in. Flash does lose the SCV, but he sees the Nexus and the timing of it. Should know that that was a Nexus before upgrade or a robotics. So Nexus, range, and then robotics. Pretty standard build. Out of Rich is not cutting too many corners. He's cutting a little bit of a corner there by getting the Nexus before the range. Now, relying on this wall to keep himself alive means that Flash really didn't have many Marines. You can see what his plan is in this game is just to build as few Marines as possible. And that is going to force him to be a little bit more conservative with the CC, building it up on the high ground. That's an interesting take, right? Most players today, most players in 2024 are building, you know, 4 Marines, 3 Marines at least, and a bunker to try and get this CC on location. But Flash says, you know what? In this position, I'm going to set up the barracks and factory so that there's a full wall, build the CC on high ground, And then I'll be able to get my second factory way quicker. And we can already see the second factory came at a pretty tight timing. Engineering bay on the way behind this because Flash has hardly any information at all. Really hasn't been able to see too much. Placing some mines in interesting spots. Be funny, place it underneath that tree right there, because underneath the tree you do have a bit of a mischance. Things underneath a tree can dodge, I guess you would say, Dragoon fire. If Dragoons run up and try to clear something under that tree, sometimes they'll miss. Kind of a weird aspect of Brood War that's not often discussed, but yeah, trees, I don't think this tree, but trees like this actually give you a mischance. Just a silly nuance there. But Rich is going to move towards taking an extra base. How many? Okay, 3 gateways. A very defensive play from Rich. Gonna run forward, try to snipe that probe. Good job sniping the probe here. Gonna delay this Nexus 4 a little bit. Could even snipe it again. This will be fantastic. Flash looking for that snipe. He's got the vultures in position. 2 Dragoons on the high ground over here. The other 2 will come down to push this away, but this is already quite a delay. 7 minutes now. He's gonna go for it. Oh, go, 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 go. Oh, he gets it again. Huge, huge kill there. Gonna run by into the main base now with these vultures. Looks like he tried to go up that ramp as well, but ends up running aside. Can he get this probe again? Oh my god, he got it again. Holy, this is so much slowdown. Remember, that probe was going up the ramp at about 6 minutes, 6 minute 30, somewhere in that range. And now we're at 7 minutes 30. And it still hasn't set up this Nexus. Plenty of money in the bank for Rich, but his third has been slowed down a lot. It's not like it was free, though. Flash did throw away a few vultures, but that's fine. He's sitting back. He is just building up right now, adding on some more factories. He's not ready to push out just yet, but he's going to take a little bit of a position near his ramp, or his bridge, rather. Start to set up tanks along this wall and maybe think about taking that third base. Now, the problem with Fighting Spirit that Terran players have dealt with since this map was released, which what seems like a million years ago, but I don't actually remember when Fighting Spirit came out, but it's been out as long as I can remember. This base right here is very difficult to take. If the Protoss player gets up here with Dragoons and Reavers, you're gonna have a real hard time. But since Flash has slowed down Rich so much and kept him on his side of the map, just with these mines and vultures running around, he's actually gonna be able to get up here, start the CC, and possibly get a wall going with some turrets up here before Rich even goes out on the map. Another run by, gonna be flying right into this natural. Get a few more probes. Maybe one more. Oh, one more. Not quite. About 4 probes go down there. Oh, there's the Reaver. Good target fire on that Reaver, but a huge hit from that Reaver. Does so much damage. Oh, and he doesn't have the shot. Reaver gets picked back up. Dragoons are on their way. I think this base is going to get denied. The Reaver here being quite clutch. Doing a lot of damage. Okay, 3 tanks on high ground already. Tank number 4, 5, and 6 are going to come up. Reaver gets dropped out again. Looks like the Zealot went down. But the Reaver is still alive. Dragoon's going to come up this ramp. Reaver from behind. Probably going to be dropped right on top of these tanks and start to pick them off. Vultures laying down their mines. There's the Reaver. Gets one shot. Dodges another tank hit. Most of the Dragoons have been killed, but there's still a few more coming up here. Oh, he gets one shot on the Reaver. But it's still alive. Flash barely hanging on to this position. That was a bit of a scramble on both sides. Flash just about losing that position. Rich almost breaking it open, but losing a lot of his Dragoons to try and make that happen. Had he moved up the ramp a little bit more smoothly, maybe he could have done it, but He was a little bit too busy juggling that Reaver, trying to get shots off without taking damage. Now with 2 shuttles, can he actually break this base? 4 Zealots and 2 Reavers is pretty deadly. Yeah, I think he's going to be able to take this one out. Oh boy, this is going to be bad for Flash. He doesn't have any tanks to deal with the Reavers now. It's an 11 kill Reaver. Tanks are just now coming down to reinforce. SCVs get pulled. There were 2 Goliaths around here somewhere, but I'm not sure where they've gone to. I guess they were staying in the main base, thinking that he was gonna take some damage there. Ooh, I just heard a big shot go off there, but I didn't see it. I think a few SCVs went down at least. Still 62 workers though, so it couldn't have been that impactful. The 2 Reavers. I'd love to get a view on how many kills these guys have, because I'm sure it's a lot. No supply depot wall over at this base just yet, and the tanks are not fully set up. A little bit worried for Flash that he might get broken just now. He's being a little bit lackadaisical about setting up everything. And it is true that Terran Micro is done before the fight for the most part. Most of Terran Micro is handled in the preamble. You need to get everything set up beforehand, and then when the battle happens, you can be focusing on other things. Unless you need to actually target the tanks on a certain units. That's really the only micro that you're going to be doing. Maybe throwing down a couple of mines, but you'd much rather have those mines up beforehand. That's when you're really going to be able to take decent fights. You got to have those mines up before they're actually necessary. Now going to come into the natural. Loses the shuttle right away. This is going to be blocked. That Scarab will not go off, deal any damage, and he is just going to lose the shuttle and Zealot's Reaver for free. This is a pretty poor attack from Rich, and it's not going to slow down Flash in the slightest, who's now at 70 workers. My god. 13 minutes in, 70 workers already. He's got 3 bases. He has his science facility on the way now. Tons of factories working, and he even stopped the probe from making its way down to bottom left, so he's prevented extra bases from coming up for Rich. Pretty big army is going to make its way over towards this natural. The tanks are pretty spread out, and I'm not sure why they're so far out on the map. There's just not enough mines to cover this. A lot of these are going to go down, actually. This is not good for Flash. He's losing so many tanks and trading out just Zealots for the most part. Some Vultures making their way around that army are going to come over to that natural. Put some mines in the pathway, the reinforcement pathway. There's a 12 kill Reaver here in the natural. Looks like he's going to leave that there just to defend against any Vulture attacks. At least for the time being. Moving out with another shuttle. 1 Reaver, 2 Zealots in there. And finally, this wall has been set up. Flash looking for his 4th base, but I'm not sure where he'll end up taking that. Is he going to take it on center right? Possibly towards the middle. That could be a good move as well. If he wants to push the natural of Rich, that could be a reasonable decision. Again, denying a probe down to bottom left. If Flash wins this game, it's going to be through, or mostly through, the Vulture Micro. This Vulture Micro has been amazing. It's really been on top of Rich the entire time, slowing him down and picking off these probes over and over and over again. Some Storm's going to come out on this high ground. 1 tank will be taken down, I think, by the Storms. No. Instead, going to focus on getting rid of these SCVs and the Vultures up on this high ground. SCVs they take a lot of damage here. Quite a few kills on this 1 High Templar. 8 kills now total. Still 64 workers though left for Flash. As long as he clears this up without losing too much, he'll be able to push out after this. You can see he's actually ahead in supply. 160 to 157. That's looking quite good for Flash. Taking off these Vultures down here. Ooh, gonna snipe the Templar as well. Templar going down there is quite annoying, and the vultures right there are just sitting and waiting for a probe to be sent down. That's their only purpose. He's continuing to deny another main base location from Rich, and now going to be pushing with the might of his full army. Wait, where is everything? Oh my goodness. All right, well, Flash is I think making a bit of a mistake here by not pulling everything out to the front. We've got tanks just kind of sitting around. There's 3 tanks over at the natural. These tanks over here are not joining up with the main force. I think Flash is kind of forgetting a few things here. They had all this stuff together. Don't want to fight with half your army, and it looks like he might actually get that fight. Rich is going to fly in and start to dismantle this before everything joins up, before all of the units join up together, and that could be a big swing in Rich's direction. Still tanks over here not part of the fight, but the majority are going to be brought forward. 160 supply total to the 185 now. Flash hasn't grown very much in supply, but Rich certainly has. Sitting on 4 bases, he's just been macroing like crazy, just building a ton of units. He hasn't been able to get another base up. If this base stands for too long, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. Rich is. Vulture mine in the middle of all these tanks. You really want to get rid of that, I think. No mines in front of the army, actually. And so the Zealots will be able to run straight up on top of most of this stuff. Oh, this one mine could be so devastating. Big mine connection there on a bunch of these tanks. And storms go down as well. And it looks like Rich easily gonna push Flash off of this base. Not enough setup from Flash, I would say. Didn't have enough of his stuff ready to defend this position. And so Rich will push through. He kills the CC and prevents the 4th base in the center of the map. That's very important stuff. Flash going to rotate a little bit over here to the right-hand side. Plan B, it seems, is going to be to take center right. Try to hold that down. Reaver with 14 kills, still alive somehow. Might be able to escape. No, the shuttle goes down, and so this is not long. These Reavers are not long for this world. It will be picked off. Vultures come down. Looks like they ended up picking off that Reaver that was down here in the bottom right, and still not able to get a probe into one of these corners. Still on 4 bases is Rich. That is crazy. Flash preventing this for an insane amount of time. Look, a shuttle with a probe in it is getting desperate, actually. Rich is having such a difficult time taking a base. He's going to send this shuttle all the way over to top right just to get a Nexus online. Flash needs to react to this. Rich is moving in the direction of this center right. He wants to take a fight. There's more mines out this time. There's nothing over on the side here. This high ground is a little bit undefended. Has a few tanks, of course, but you need something to block this ramp a little bit. Otherwise, too much stuff is going to end up landing on top. Ooh, he lost one of the shuttles. I'm not sure if that was a Templar shuttle or a Zealot shuttle, but I imagine it was a Zealot shuttle. Because here's the Templar shuttle with 4 Templar, and it's funnily enough the one with the lowest HP, the most important one. SCV is going to be transferred over onto this 4th. Finally, a probe gets over here. Finally, he's going to be able to take a base in another corner of the map. Rich has been struggling to do that for so long. He's just now making it happen at 19-minute 30. Flash has his 4th base online. He is mined out of main and natural, so very important that he gets that going. Oh, pushing through the middle now. Not mining on his gas, actually, at the 3rd. It might hurt Flash very badly. The fact that that's not rolling and this is not rolling either, he might end up running out of gas here pretty soon. Right now, minerals are the problem, but that could become a factor later on. Vulture's cleaning up a lot of these Zealots. Here comes the storms, though. Good pull from Flash. Pulling up most of the army out of those storms before he gets the lethal damage. Pulling back once again. Very good play from Flash. He has eliminated all of these Zealots and now can shove away these Dragoons. Looks like he's going to hold Now with just a 30 supply disadvantage, he's gonna go for a push. Uh-oh. Flash, is this a good idea? Pushing up to top right? I mean, he is behind in supply. A lot of the Dragoons were saved. There is a big rally of forces coming out. If Flash fails to kill this base and he loses this whole army, he might be in a situation where Rich can counterattack and actually win the game. Ooh, some big storms here on some of these units. Double D-Matrix, though, on the frontal tanks. I'm going to be focusing down the Nexus here shortly. Oh, right into the natural. Here we go. Right into the natural. Rich is going to shove in and try to make this game as crazy as possible. Meanwhile, Flash is going to push top right with the few units he has up there. Can he hold with just his rallies? Putting mines on the ramp. Gonna do his best to buy that time. Two more Zealots gonna make their way up here. Mine connections on a lot of this stuff. Army making its way back, but it's just gonna walk right into a bunch of Dragoons. Not the greatest trade there. In the end, though, it seems like Flash will hold with flying colors this base. And he's gonna kill all the probes in top right. He hasn't killed either Nexus, but he is holding on to his natural. And he's killed so many probes. 43 probes remain. I think we're gonna see Rich transfer all of those, or nearly all of them, up into this top right-hand corner. Resaturate these bases the moment that he is able. Some Zealots dealing damage over here. Getting rid of that Vespian Geyser. Not that Flash is particularly worried about that. He does need to get some gas going, though. Finally going to fully saturate that base. Oh my gosh, we had a Templar drop. I'm gonna have to picture that. 5 kills on this High Templar. Means a few extra workers went down. I don't even know when that happened. I guess it was pretty recent. This Nexus is getting very low. Triple shuttle. 2 Dragoons and 8 Zealots. Where is he going to be sending that? Maybe over to the top right to defend? Perhaps into the center right to try and block that base. There's not a lot of anti-air over here, so you can really abuse this with shuttles. 2 tanks just sitting out in the middle of nowhere. Flash. Flash. We don't want to be losing these tanks right now. Alright, he is going to let those die. Not sure what that's all about. At the same time, dealing more damage. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of stuff. Everything going to be thrown right on top of this army for Flash. Great mine connection there. Actually could turn the tides. Oh my goodness, so many good mine connections on this army. And Rich is going to punch right through. Wow. That one battle actually changing the tide so much. Picks up another couple of Zealots into this shuttle and drops it on top of the tanks once more. High Templar with 5 kills. Almost has another storm ready, but not quite. SCVs are going to be pulled. Flash is in desperate straits at just 90 supply remaining. This Nexus is getting very, very low, though. All right, both these vultures are almost dead. They both should go down, and the probes should be able to get transferred. 100 HP on that. Oh my goodness, 100 HP. Are you kidding me? That is absolutely unreal. This base is going to stay up for now, but probes are being sniped on the transfer. This is getting insane. There's only 3 probes over at this base, by the way. 30 probes total on this map. I'm gonna have to picture a few things. I think I might have missed some probe kills, but Flash has been so active. He's been so crazy with these vultures. It's very hard to catch everything. Maybe it's time for Flash to take bottom left. Can he float a CC out there? He's gonna try and take center right instead, but I'm not sure if that's a great idea. Vultures, when things get really low in supply, when both players get really low in supply, are so good. Not the greatest trade there with those vultures, but in general, just throwing mines out everywhere and things are really when things are really scrappy, it makes it so much harder for the Protoss player to take a good fight. Here comes all those probes. This is like most of the remaining probes heading over to top right. And he's gonna have one base saturation, really, for the time being. Oh no, he's pushing up towards top right. Flash, what are we doing? Oh my god, he's gonna get completely overwhelmed. I think this is gonna be it, guys. Rich catches the army on the right-hand side for the second time, and GG is called. Moving a little bit too aggressively with this army both times. Getting slapped on the right-hand side of the map. Rich diving with his army, and his load of shuttles gets dropped right on top of these forces. GG, wow. I definitely see some chinks in the armor here for Flash, but his vulture place feels like it's leveled up. This is like sharp level vulture play, honestly. The way that he's tracking down probes and keeping the vultures active the whole time, I feel like that's what he's actually working on rather than his army movement. And we know that his army movement has been very good in the past. So once he tightens up that aspect of his play, I think we're going to see Flash become dominant again, guys. I'm just going to come out and say it. It really does look like he's modernizing a lot his TVP. Even though he was taken out by Rich in this game. A very fun one to cast, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.